It's a beautiful day in Kingsport, Tennessee, and we're at the home of Cindy and Steve Harville. The grounds here, with its many garden beds, vignettes, specimen plants, and garden rooms, is nothing short of spectacular. No other way to describe this. And the Harvilles have tapped a very capable plantsman and landscape designer to show us around. I've discovered there's no truer friend than a gardener friend, and I'm going to be talking with Jeff Colton about some of the plants that we're going to find in this landscape. And right off the bat, I know, Jeff, this I recognize an Agapanthus foliage. Now tell me the name.
Okay, this is Agapanthus grasscup. It's perfectly hardy. It's been here 5 or 6 years. It has sailed through 10 below zero.
Really?
We don't do anything special to it. The buds come out almost black. It's a little bit different than your normal Agapanthus, but I'm thrilled that we can grow it.
Okay, where can I go find one?
This is a Monrovia nursery plant, so I'm sure any place that sells Monrovia products could order it for you.
Okay. And
you don't find them everywhere, but they can be gotten.
I'm very excited about this. Now, I'm not sure I've ever seen this pine back here. Or what is this bush?
That's a Japanese black pine, and it's a variety called Thunderhead.
Oh.
And it's a slow grower, has those long, stiff needles, just looks like I don't know, it just reminds me of a teddy bear. The new candles, they're dark right now, but when they come out, they'll be white.
Yes.
Against that.
Okay.
And it's a slow grower, so it doesn't get out of hand.
And I think every garden should have this Joe Pye.
I do too. That is a hybrid variety called Little Joe. But Little Joe gets bigger here than he normally does.
I was going to say, now my Little Joe is not that big.
I got it as Little Joe, but
well, you know what's so exciting for me about this plant is right now, if you drive through Tennessee and along the waterways, this is very prolific everywhere. It's one of my favorite.
Very tall.
Yes, it's one of my favorite going driving experiences. Yeah. Okay, and you know, this right here is very twisted and unusual. Is this that sage? No, what is this?
No, it's a Panceris trifoliata, flying dragon. You can see it grows all twisted.
Yeah.
It has vicious, recurved thorns.
And it's in the citrus family. It's not. I thought that was an orange.
It's citrus. It flowered heavily, but then got frosted this spring. But they'll have oranges about the size of a ping pong ball. Very bitter, mostly seeds. If you plant the seeds, every one of them will come up.
Well, then what's it good for? Might be a good deer preventer. Maybe.
Not so far.
Okay, well then I'm going to skip along down here because I know I saw some more evergreens that are really luscious in this part of the landscape. Right here, standing above things, and I like the level of this, the berm.
Okay, this berm was put in to give a little privacy and break from the street. A lot of stuff in here. This pine tree is one of my favorites. It's an Oregon green. Beyond that, I can't remember the name, but it's a good pine. Saybrook gold junipers.
That's beautiful.
Which is a good juniper to have.
Now, when you say that, why are there bad junipers?
Some junipers are very bad, I think, because mainly they're overdone. They can get lots of brown dead growth inside. They will overwhelm the space. This is a good manageable size. It's easily maintained. It keeps a good bright gold color all year, and it develops these foxtail growth. Gives you a fluffy.
Another thing to write down on paper.
And it's soft. It won't eat you up when you have to work in it.
And you know, my eye is drawn to what's going to be really pretty in a few days. That crepe myrtle there. That's a dwarf.
It's a dwarf. We do head those back every year. We trim those differently than we do the standard crepe myrtles.
So you head them back. Do you cut them to a foot? How do you do that?
Some years we do. It just depends on the growing season.
All right.
But I think if you didn't trim them, they'd never get over 5 feet.
Well, that's still good.
We don't want 5 feet here.
Well, and this is elevated for the purpose of privacy, and just a little bit of elevation out of a plant or two helps. This is a beautiful vignette, and how it's been created. It's going from the lowly plant and accentuated by the tall and majestic. So right here we've got a native sedum, don't we?
There's several different sedums in there. You
Yeah.
see there's several different varieties going on. They've already flowered for the year.
And this is just a good example about how if you can't insert a plant, sometimes the root balls and the things that are going on underneath the soil restrict us from planting. So by elevating and coming into a showcase pot like this and putting plants in it, it just makes it
a lot easier.
It sure is, and I recognize a grass or two in here, and the cannas and the overflow of the vine. And then back here we've got a perennial plant of the year.
It's a good plant. Flower. It's only begun to flower the past week or so. It will flower for another 2 months. Deer hate it.
That's gonna say.
So I love it. It does smell like an onion if you crush the leaves. Flowers for a long time. It's very good for pollinators. You'll see bees, butterflies, everything on it. And it does flower for a long time, and that's as big as it gets. The clumps will get larger.
And look how beautiful it plays off of the lavender and that gray leaf in there, the two purple combinations. All behind there is one of those chartreuse plants that everybody longs for, isn't it?
It is.
Get me something chartreuse in my garden. And this is a sumac.
It's a tiger's eye sumac. And
Tiger's eye.
that color, those chartreuse colors, work well pretty much anywhere.
And then that just leads on up into the wonderful branches of these flowing over boughs on this evergreen. And what is this?
That's a weeping Norway spruce.
So that has some age on it, so it must have been a transplant with age.
It was here when I came here, and I'm sure it was put in as a large plant when it was installed.
Coming through a gate, and you know every garden has to have, if we ever have time to use it, a relaxation time and point. So right here, the sound of water. Isn't that great for...
It is.
It's starting to set the theme, but then as we go through this meandering path that has a curve that takes the eye to a different direction, one of the things that I see effective to me when I look through here is how the echo of the chartreuse color of the sucra right here, even though behind us there are other plants with that color, then it switches over here to the, is that Annabelle?
That's Annabelle.
It so resembles the Incredible, doesn't it? Yeah, and this color keeps moving along with the curve of the path. And here's another relaxing water sound that is so pleasing both to the eye and to the ears. And then we come to this other same color that's been repeated over here with the hosta. And to me, this is pleasing. And you know, I love this cordyline, and then I guess the use of that Persian shield. And this, tell me, is the South Carolina?
South Carolina. Cindy's a South Carolina girl from Greenville.
Yeah.
So we have a lot of South Carolina memorabilia
Well, why not?
around here.
Yeah, this is, to me, is very pleasing, and it stands out, the color and everything in it. The coleus, and just a great use of color. And this is a little house plant that I used to use.
I call it polka dot. I don't
Yeah,
really
it is the polka dot. Yeah, and it comes in different colors.
Yeah,
green
it
and
does.
white.
This container, Cindy finds lots of different things. This is just an iron
Oh yeah.
insert. I think it was a candle holder, but we don't do candles. So we did this, using a lime green coleus, a little begonia, alyssum, polka dot, and another Persian shield.
Yeah, there it is in the green and white.
Mm-hmm. This is a kind of a shady area. It doesn't get that much sun.
Well,
but,
you know what? I think a candle be sort of nice coming up
They
to the
tend to
middle.
melt. They tend to melt during the day. But,
Okay. Well, you know, Jeff, no matter when or how you reach this point in this garden, it has the same effect, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
It's calm. The breezes are coming, but even without that, there's a very nice collection of the summon substance hostas over here, and they come and go, but they are a beautiful, reliable plant. Then, of course, I love the mop heads here. And then over there, which variety of Ligularia?
Oh, I'm not sure. They're fully budded. They're ready to flower.
And they're tall and yellow, aren't
Yeah, they'll be this big, like a
Wow.
big yellow daisy.
they? It's been such a pleasure to walk with you through this beautiful garden, and all of the design assets that are here, and we know you've had a hand in that as well as Cindy. And it's just been a beautiful visit, and I've learned things here too.
Well, Cindy's a joy to work with. She's a lot of fun, and she lets you do pretty much whatever you want to do. And I know her well enough to know what she likes.
That's wonderful.
So it's a pretty good, she's a pretty good garden wife. You know, so.
Okay, well, thank you.
Well, thanks for coming.
For inspiring garden tours, growing tips, and garden projects, visit our website at volunteergardener.org or on YouTube at the Volunteer Gardener channel, and like us on Facebook.